And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that break. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we've returned with our final series of the night, with one of our final qualifying matches, one of our final knockout bracket matches here at ESL Masters Spring. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our German Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Mouse. It is HeRoMaRinE. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. The winner of this series will make it out of the knockout bracket, will make it into the playoffs. The loser is eliminated from the tournament. A very, very important match here for these two players. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are now open. You can place your bets on who you believe will advance on into those playoffs and who will say goodbye and who will have their run ended here in DreamHack Dallas at ESL Masters Spring. Up to you to decide. Up to you. Just posting in the chat. Predictions are open. Whew, and we just wrapped up a brutal TvT. We just wrapped up Gumiho versus Clem. It was a wild series that went all the way to the ace match, and I'm hoping for the same here. I'm hoping we can go back and forth and make it all the way to game 5. But it's on our players here. ByuN opening up double gas, going for a faster factory. We see HeRoMaRinE opening up with more economic opener instead, going for a Rax into command center into our expansion. So something more economic from HeRoMaRinE, something a little bit more aggressive and likewise safer from ByuN. And there's that CC on the low ground from Big Gabe. Again, no fear whatsoever, opening up economically. ByuN going for his factory follow-up here, opening up with Reaper into, I imagine, Hellion. And I think this is the first time we're casting this map today. It's been a wild day of StarCraft, and for the first time we're loading into Amphion maps. One of the more vetoed maps in the map pool has some interesting and unique features. Of course, there's a ramp coming into the natural, which is more of a unique feature that we see nowadays, a little bit less common than it used to be back many years ago. Likewise, we have a very defendable third base location, as you have to mine through these minerals to gain access to it, but likewise, so does your opponent. Your opponent has to either mine through minerals or break down rocks to actually apply the pressure here. And even in doing so, we have ramps. We have the high ground advantage here at said third, so it can be quite difficult to really punish and apply pressure to. Similarly, here at this linear third base location, it can also be quite difficult to engage as well. So we'll see how our players will approach this. Behind this, interesting, settling into a bit of a 2-1-1 setup here. We have our second Rax follow-up into our factory, so a bit of a delayed factory here by HeRoMaRinE, building up a heavy bio count early on. Across the map, ByuN opening up 1-1-1 into the starport. Did open double Reaper and is chilling back at home, but from here is getting into his add-ons, getting to his safety Cyclone, into, I imagine, Medivacs. Some drop play here. Meanwhile, HeRoMaRinE, yeah, straight up 2-1-1. This is wild. You don't see this too often, but we're rushing into Stim. We spoke about how we delayed the factory for the faster second Rax into fast Stim, into a bio army here. I'm curious if we throw down a starport as a follow-up or a third Rax. And the answer is a starport. So yeah, this is interesting here. If you're familiar with the TvZ matchup and even a little bit of TvP, 2-on-1s are a lot more commonplace against Zerg players. Very much so uncommon against Protoss and Terran. Not unheard of, but uncommon nonetheless. So yeah, there's going to be an interesting Stim timing that HeRoMaRinE's working on. Basically, is building up towards a 16 Marine double medevac push. Before that happens, though, we do see ByuN moving out with his own drop. Bit of a more kitchen sink. We have some Reaper, Marine, and the one Cyclone in that medevac as we move out across the map. HeRoMaRinE will have Marines to defend, as his name does entail. There will be plenty of Marines, but is it going to be enough as the drop is coming in? We do hit that main base. Oh, Marine's going to be going down. We do bleed out 2 Marines already. Ooh, we are down to 3, but reinforcements are coming in just in time. Boys are being pulled, and with the help of these boys, we will fend off this drop and force it the hell out of the main. Despite that, 5 SCVs go down. We do got 5 worker kills. Pretty nice damage here by ByuN. He saves the Reaper. Sorry, he saves the Cyclone. He saves the medevac. Does save the high-tech units. And does dip in, does confirm the production. Does confirm the mass Marine, the 2 medevacs on the way, or I guess the reactored medevac production, reactored starport production, and Stim. So ByuN should be a lot more aware of what's going on as he's moving out with his initial tank push. Vikings are all the way. Here comes that double jump. Oh, trying to chase down the medevac. Oh, but the jukes are real, and ByuN does escape. ByuN barely getting away from those Marines, and we're moving out across the map towards that natural. Again, ByuN, because of the opener of HeRoMaRinE, 0 tanks. Well, soon to be 1. Soon to be 1 tank, so ByuN has the tank lead, has the Viking lead as well, as he's moving out towards the natural base. At the same time, HeRoMaRinE, he's a bit out of position. He's out on the map, and there's not much at home to defend. Okay, we are setting up for a surround. HeRoMaRinE unloading behind ByuN's army. And getting ready to collapse on those tanks. Speaking of, HeRoMaRinE coming in with his own defensive tank. Do you have the unsiege? The scan is real. We're going for the dive. Oh, the tanks that were on siege. One tank goes down, and so will the second. Very nice cleanup here by Big Gabe. Shuts down the tanks, forces ByuN back. And that was a pretty big loss here, bleeding out 2 tanks this early on. And now suddenly, ByuN, he's in a bit of trouble here, going for the CC, going for the third base, but here comes a massive counterattack by Big Gabe. Viking shuts down the drop. Oh, medevac barely does escape. And back at home, what do we have to defend? We have 1 tank, we have a handful of Marines, no bunker. Very little to defend. ByuN needs a little bit more time. Has a tank on the high ground. The army is amassing. A nice pre-spread here by HeRoMaRinE, avoiding the splash damage from the tank. He stims in. Big volley to the face. Ooh, but he will get on top of the tank. Yeah, the repairs are not going to be good enough. Tank goes down. Liberator has arrived. But SCVs are falling. 5 worker kills. Tank within range of the CC, even of the tanks. Oof. 2 tank shots go off. We don't quite get the tank though, as ByuN is holding. Does barely hold on. Oh my god. Shaving off a Viking. Bleeding out the tank. And at the same time across the map, ByuN coming in with that low HP medevac. Oh my god. Getting 9 to 10, 11. It's getting far too much. 11 SCVs go down. But we're not done. Chaos ensues as HeRoMaRinE, he drops into the main. Workers going down left and right for both players. Stim is exposed. And Stim is denied. Tech Lab goes down. There won't be a Stim. Not anytime soon. And we're going for the mineral line. The SCVs. And ByuN bleeding out too much. 18 workers go down. And ByuN will clean this up. But at what cost? The cost of our economy. Now, ByuN thankfully has a third base, so he can work towards the orbital and eventually take his expansion. But HeRoMaRinE is keeping up. Third CC also done. Orbital is on the way. Big Gabe up in workers. Is up in those workers, settling into his own production. Remember, Gabe still has that Stim advantage over his opponent. A job coming back in. A little bit ambitious within range of the tank. Tank goes down. Oh, for both players. Oh, can we get it? Oh, not quite. ByuN holds the line. Viking drop into the main base, getting 5 extra SCVs. Did bleed out the Viking, did lose it, but still got 5 more workers. HeRoMaRinE maintaining his economic advantage. As I say that, ByuN not taking this line down, gets 5 more workers himself. Both players are hurting. Now, ByuN's advantage here is his upgrades. 1-1 is now finishing. 1-1 for his bio army is now complete. HeRoMaRinE just starting his own upgrade. So that is the one lead, the one big advantage that ByuN does have. Is going to be the quality of his bio army, and he's catching up with Stim. You know, even though Stim was denied and delayed for so long, now we're catching up. We're catching up with these upgrades, and ByuN will be able to hold his own. HeRoMaRinE still maintaining that worker lead, does expand, taking his third base, taking the triangular third location. We spoke about how defendable this base can be. Can be, as it's still vulnerable to drops. Is now on the way. And the game is settling down. We're calming down a little bit from here as both players are macroing, both players are expanding. But again, HeRoMaRinE, because of his economic lead, that leads into a larger army. That leads into an earlier push. But I spoke too soon because ByuN once again coming in with that medevac. Gets 7 SCV kills here in the natural. Almost gets a tank as well. Again, for only a handful of Marines, well worth it for ByuN. 7 SCV kills. ByuN, he's catching up. Not quite there yet, but he's clawing his way back into this. He's looking to stabilize. He's getting there. ByuN moving on the right-hand side. HeRoMaRinE doing the same on the left. HeRoMaRinE going for a Doom drop into the main. There is a turret, but only the one turret in the main base. There's a tank siege up as well, covering the production. ByuN does spot the army. Sims in time. Does keep up. Does keep up with the Doom drop. ByuN, he thought about coming back home. Did think about it, but no, he is pushing. ByuN is moving out. Drop into the main. There's a lot of Marines available here for HeRoMaRinE, but he doesn't commit. He doesn't find a way in. There's just too much to defend. Meanwhile, back at home, what do we have? Oh, we have a tank going down. We sniped the first tank. We're going for the CC. And can we save it? The base getting low. It gets low by the repairs. Ooh. Oh my god, those tank volleys. The SCVs, they barely survive, and we do race back home. Coming in for the surround. Yeah, ByuN gets cleaned up, but did get 8 more workers. Almost the entire mineral line. That was 1 tank volley, by the way. Jesus. Look how low those SCVs are. But we hold. ByuN continuing his drop play. Double drop on the right-hand side. ByuN stabilizing on his 3 bases. Now taking a worker lead. It's been a very chaotic game, very back and forth. For the most part, Gabe did have quite an advantage, but ByuN has found himself back into this game. Still working on that 2-2, still having that upgrade lead. And once again, as HeRoMaRinE moves out, ByuN is coming back in. Like, these drops at the natural have been brutal. Time and time again, ByuN has been abusing the fact that there has been no sensor tower here for HeRoMaRinE, for Big Gabe. We stim in, tanks are exposed, 1 tank goes down, 2nd tank as well. Very nice pickups here from ByuN. Once again abusing this position. Yes, 2 tanks will be cleaned up, will be forced back. As HeRoMaRinE is going for his own drop. And ByuN is moving out with his entire army. 3 tanks, mass bio. 2-2 is finishing up in a couple of seconds. Should finish up in time for this push. And HeRoMaRinE focusing mainly on his drop. How many tanks do we have left? Only 3. Oh. 3 tanks here for Gabe. 1 sieged up at the natural. Scanning. Trying to spot the army. ByuN does confirm. Does push in. And the tank siege up, and HeRoMaRinE is being broken. We get on top of the tanks. We get on top of the Vikings. The Vikings, they just don't add too much. They get focused down. We have 1 tank left. Whew. And at the same time, HeRoMaRinE goes for the 3rd. And he will get a kill. There's no saving it. The orbital goes down. We shut down the 3rd base. We camp the production. ByuN may have cleaned up a little of the supply, but he's down a base. Trying to sneak out a 4th. Now a 3rd. ByuN should be able to hold on back at home. But ByuN is running out of steam. Like, sure, this push caught some tanks and caught a bunch of Vikings, but not much else. And Gabe is setting up for a surround. He's coming back home. Yeah, tanks are inching closer. Boys are being pulled. Marines, they come back. And ByuN almost has nothing left. Bleeds out everything out here. He's got reinforcing Marines. He does have a backup 3rd CC. It is scanned immediately. HeRoMaRinE, he knows. And he's going for it. He wants another base. He wants the orbital. As he moves out, once again, ByuN still active with his drops. But this time, Gabe is in position. This time, Gabe, he has the supply to work with. He attacks and he defends. Yeah, back at home, he's safe and sound. Threatens the 3rd. Boys being pulled. And HeRoMaRinE doesn't get much damage done, not this time. But looking at the supplies here, HeRoMaRinE is up in tanks, up in bio. No Vikings for either player. And Gabe's even got libs. Even has those liberators as well. He's just overwhelming ByuN. ByuN trying to muster up a defense, and he does have the high ground. Escape going for a split push. The drop distracting ByuN and making room for the main army. HeRoMaRinE just pushing right down mid. Has to be careful. Does siege. Tank volley's going off. We try to dive on top of the army, but ByuN fighting within range of liberators and tanks. GG gets called, and HeRoMaRinE takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god, a very chaotic back and forth game there. For the most part, HeRoMaRinE did have quite an advantage for quite some time, getting so many SCV kills early on and maintaining that worker lead. ByuN was clawing his way back into it. Again, his drop play was very impressive, was getting so much done, but still not enough. Still not enough in the end. Still not enough in the end here, as we are settling into our next game. Oh, we're settling into game number 2. It's going to be on Oceanborn. Oh boy. Here we go. I'm going to be diving into Oceanborn as game number 2. But again, I imagine this game is going to be a little bit different. Like, God, Amphion was so chaotic. From the beginning, we had drop play from both sides. Workers were going down, just action from almost the start. We had a bit of a lull in the middle, but only for a moment. So it felt like a knife fight between these two players. Now we're getting into our next game. It's a solid lead here for Gabe, but again, I'm sure he wants to secure that lead in this series, in this best of 5. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our German Terran player, the Red Terran representing Mouse. It is HeRoMaRinE. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion down in this series, but it's a best of 5. You have plenty of room here to catch back up. It is ByuN. Let's go. Here we go, as we're settling into game number 2. And again, I'm hoping we can go the distance. It's a solid lead here from Gabe, but I'm hoping for a back and forth. I mean, we just wrapped up with Gumiho versus Clem, and it went all the way to game 5, went all the way to the ace match. Is it too much to ask for another ace match? Oh, we'll see. Still too early. I'm greedy, Papi. I'm greedy. But now we're settling in. It's going to be a double gas opener here by Gabe. Interesting. If you remember, if you recall, in game 1, Gabe did go for a more economic opener, but this time, double gas. And the roles have been reversed. ByuN is going for a Rax Expand. So economic opener by ByuN, a bit of a more aggressive or tech-heavy opener by HeRoMaRinE. Now this should lead into a CC on the low ground, or I mean it could be on the high ground if we want it to be a little bit safer. But it should just be more economic here by ByuN. There it is. Command Center is going to be on the way. HeRoMaRinE will have a faster factory and a faster starport as a result. I imagine to get into drop play, to be a little bit more active. We do have options. We can go Reaper Hellion. We can go into a more heavy Cyclone opener. Could go Marine Widowmine Hellion as well for a different kind of drop. We'll see. We'll see what Gabe decides to go for, as ByuN is going to be more or less the defender here. The CC is getting up and running, and HeRoMaRinE shouldn't be too far behind with his own, as we're getting our CC on the low ground on location. There it is. You can see ByuN, he was checking with his Reaper. He checks his linear third and triangular third base. Sorry, triangular third and linear third base as well. He was checking for proxies, make sure he was safe and sound. HeRoMaRinE does something similar, checking his third base locations, making sure there's no kind of shenanigans from either player. Here we go. We do have our starport on the way. It's going to be faster Cyclone production here for Gabe. ByuN working with his initial Reaper Hellion instead. And we're just kind of easing our way into game 2. Wait, we're calming things down, Poppy. Calming things down. Oh, I see all the Gabe emotes in the chat. Let's go. Again, as opposed to the previous game, this is a chiller start. You know, game one, you know, we got all the tension out of our system. We with the hyper aggression. Just waiting for our second Cyclone. Here comes our medevac. So again, a more Cyclone heavy composition here by Gabe. ByuN now getting into his own initial Cyclone. Just the one, just to be safe. Here comes that medevac. And we'll see if we can catch each other's drops. So ByuN moves out with his Marine Cyclone. With his Marine Cyclone, bit of a kitchen sink with the Reaper Hellion as well. HeRoMaRinE moving out with the double Cyclone drop instead. And do we come across each other here as the medevacs? They will spot each other. ByuN does react. He pulls back. ByuN pulls back. He's racing back home. HeRoMaRinE making his way across towards that natural. Doesn't flinch. Doesn't slow down. And how many SCVs? Did you catch 2 so far? Oh, so my apologies. We get 1. Yeah, only 1 worker goes down. Nice defense here by ByuN. Does pull away in time. But on the flip side, ByuN wasn't able to apply any pressure. ByuN is stuck at home that much longer. Hellion goes down. Good pick off here by Gabe. And we're not done. We're going in further into the main. Catching some more SCVs. Oh, getting 2. 3 SCVs go down. We get the lock on, but Gabe will boost away, saves the drop. And again, ByuN has been stuck at home defending. Across the map, Gabe working towards his tank production, tank Raven, 3rd TC on the way for Gabe. ByuN still working on 2 bases. Now moving out with his own drop with the Marine Cyclone. But at this point, we have plenty to defend. What's important though is scouting. Like ByuN, with this, we might not get too much damage done, but we will get eyes on the 3rd TC. It will give us a little bit of a better read on whether or not HeRoMaRinE is being more economic and being more greedy, or being more aggressive. ByuN tries to dive in. Marines are in position. We back the hell off. ByuN is going to be forced back. Doesn't get eyes on much. Going for his own 3rd. We are settling in. Oh, HeRoMaRinE trying to hunt down that medevac. Is looking for it. Doesn't quite find it though. Doesn't quite catch it. ByuN diving in, spots a 3rd TC, sees that it's almost done, spots the Ravens. Over the Cyclones, they come in for the intercept, and we do get the lock on. Yeah, the boost is not going to be enough. The medevac goes down. Very nice catch. Oh no! Oh, as we don't quite reciprocate. Whew. Gabe does get away. Nice pick off nonetheless. ByuN moving out with his main army, looking at the units tab here. ByuN is down in Ravens, but we're even on tanks. It's 4 tank versus 4 tank. 2 Ravens here versus 3. ByuN, instead of that 3rd Raven, did commit into Viking production. Okay. So with these Vikings, we can try to zone away the Ravens of Gabe. Both players have research interference matrix. Disable is going to be a big part of this fight. ByuN does siege. Gabe backs off. He pulls back for now. ByuN rotating around. Shocking around with those Ravens. Gabe getting to his own Vikings. We get the first disable. And we get 1. Order targets get thrown down. Gabe, he holds his ground. Shuts down the first tank. Ooh, but does have to pull back. He is forced back here. Gabe killed a tank. ByuN got a Raven. And throughout all this, we do get 2 Reapers in the main base, doing a surprising amount of damage, getting 4 SCVs, not bad. And ByuN backs off. ByuN does retreat. But again, at least he got a Raven, which was a pretty nice pickoff, as we're not... Oh my god, the Reapers! What? 6 worker kills for 2 Reapers? Oh my god! Those were the early game Reapers as well. Very nicely done here by Gabe. Meanwhile, he has the high ground. Now, Gabe did spend a lot of energy with those auto turrets, so you can see these Ravens are tapped out. Meanwhile, ByuN has been holding on, preserving that energy. Coming in with the disables, gets 2. Does catch 2 tanks. Big volley's going to be going off as well. Oh, Gabe, he is within range. And another tank goes down. a bad trade here for ByuN, but we snipe the Ravens. We get one. Vikings forced to land, and HeRoMaRinE is going to be forcing ByuN back. Just barely. Nice tank volleys as well. Again, Gabe maintaining a tank lead. Does now take a Raven lead as he preserves both of his Ravens, and he sniped one. So ByuN down to one. ByuN forced back. Both players are on three base saturation, and HeRoMaRinE has the worker lead. Has taken his gases, forced CC on the way. This was a better outcome for Gabe. ByuN didn't quite get what he was looking for. He was hoping to break this defensive line and hopefully punish the third base. Remember, Gabe's third was much faster. That's why ByuN was moving out, in the hopes of delaying and denying the third, dealing some kind of economic damage, and instead, he met a brick wall of defense. We also had Reapers wreaking havoc across the map. And you can see here the disparity in supply. Like, HeRoMaRinE with the better economy is just snowballing out of control here, of 20 army supply, or 20 supply in general. But what I will say is that at the end of the day, TvT is still positional based. You know, you can be down 10, 20, 30 army supply, but if you can catch your opponent out of position, if you can siege up in time, if you can disable your opponent's tanks, you can still win a fight. So ByuN is still in this. Green simming in. Oh! Forcing ByuN back. But the pressure is on ByuN right now. And we have some drop play. So double drop towards the left-hand side. HeRoMaRinE pushing through the middle. Again, up in tanks, up in Ravens, up in Vikings. Now, what's scary about this is not just that HeRoMaRinE is up in supply, but as he pushes out, we have two medevacs full of Marines that won't be a part of this defense. We scan, we spot the tanks. Gabe, yeah, he's going for it. We do on siege in time. Quick moves there out of ByuN. Big tank volleys going off as well on the Bio. Double drop does come in. Yeah, he's going to be distracting HeRoMaRinE. Vikings forced to engage. HeRoMaRinE does have the Viking lead. And he wins the fight in the air. The double drop is forced back. We stim in. We take some big tank shots to the face. Oof. Yeah, it looks like ByuN, he will clean this up. His tanks were in position, forcing back the army, catching the Ravens. The Ravens are caught out as well, and oh, this push from HeRoMaRinE, it was not it. Bleeds out far too much, bleeds out all of his tanks, the Ravens, the Vikings. And suddenly, everything swings in favor of ByuN. This is what we spoke about. ByuN had the defensive advantage. He had a stronger defensive position. Gabe was going for the kill, but didn't quite find it. ByuN holds on, and now suddenly the pendulum swings in favor of the blue Terran player, and now we're pushing. And can HeRoMaRinE do the same? We're getting our tanks in position. The bio army moves out, which means these tanks are exposed. ByuN scans. He sees that there's not much here, and he's going for it. He sims in. Goes for the sim, disables the further back tank. Yeah, and he's snowballing out of control, breaking through this defensive line. Barely breaking through the Marines. Gets another tank. And ByuN, he's going for the kill, going for the throw. GG gets called. ByuN ties us up 1-1. Whew. We're going to game 3. GG, well played. Once again, a very tense game there. Again, Gabe had certain advantages, but that push through the middle, that push towards that third base, did leave much to be desired there for Gabe. ByuN had a beautiful defense there and was able to quickly swing things in his favor. And now we're getting into game 3 to determine who takes the lead in the series, as we're tied up. We're tied up 1-1. Alright, tied up here. Oh. We are tied up, and now we are getting ready for that third game. Our map of choice is going to be Alkyone, and quickly checking here, it looks like our players are asking for a moment. Okay. I mean, I don't blame them. It's a very tense series. It's a very tense series here. I mean, their tournament lives are on the line right now. We have yet to enter the playoffs, and our players are asking for a couple of minutes, and hopefully everything is okay. I don't want to extrapolate too much. ByuN is asking for a couple of minutes, and I do know that historically ByuN has had wrist issues in the past. But whether it's that, whether it's just taking a breather, whether it's going for a bit of a bathroom break, we are more than happy to oblige. Hopefully everything is okay. So players are going to be taking a moment here before diving back in. Here we go. Whew. Here we go. But I hope everyone in the chat is enjoying themselves. Hope you're all having a good time tonight. Not even just tonight, but this weekend. This weekend of StarCraft. 3 days straight here of ESL Masters Spring. Three days straight. We're still only in day 2, and tomorrow is going to be the semifinals and the grand finals as well. So clear up your schedules. Clear them up. Get ready for some more StarCraft. And even after the series, after we wrap up, there's still going to be the quarterfinals as well tonight for the playoffs. So plenty more to come on the mainstream. As it looks like our players are ready and we're diving into Game 3. Let's go. Diving into Game 3 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkione, we have our red Terran player from the land of Germany representing Mouse. Being forced into a tied-up series, can he bounce back? It is HeRoMaRinE. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion from the land of South Korea. Fighting back, bouncing back, and tying up the series. Can he keep this momentum going? It is ByuN. Here we go. Ah. Greetings from Germany. You have a very calming voice, made for casting, and your little laugh reminds me of give you in a good way. Ay, ay, ay. Thank you, I suppose. Thank you. Gracias, papi. Gracias. We're settling in, and it looks like we have, once again, a double gas opener from Big Gabe. Opening up double gas, going for a faster factory into his 1-on-1. Very similar to what we saw previously. ByuN going for a more economic opener here. Racks expand as they open up with one gas geyser. These more economic openers are much more common on Alkione. This map is known for its macro play, for its mid to late game. The reason why I say this is because our 2, 3, and 4 base setups here are a lot more defendable than they are on other maps. So we can kind of settle into our 4 base setup, go for a longer macro game, and cut the map in half. Of course, as the goal base is to factor in as well in a later game. Rush distance by ground is a little bit longer as well. And I wouldn't be opposed to that. So far in this series, it's been pretty, I don't know if I want to say decisive, but it's been very high octane, right? It's been very aggressive on 3 bases at most. We have yet to take a 4th in this series. Now, this would be the map for it. But we'll see. For now, with our extra gases, we do have the factory on the way, going to be into our reactor, into reactor Reaper production. So it looks like Reaper Hellion from HeRoMaRinE. A little bit more old school, a little bit more traditional. Should be getting into a second wave of Reapers after this. 4 Reapers, 2 to 3 Hellions, moving out across the map to try to snowball and try to catch ByuN off guard. Back at home, ByuN just now building into and getting into his own factory. And here it is, we're just waiting for our next wave of reinforcements. Waiting to move out with quite a death pool of an army early on. Doesn't look like a lot, but again, 4 Reaper double Hellion can hit like a truck. And the goal, of course, is going to be to focus down the Reapers, Hellions, and Cyclones of ByuN, and to bust into a mineral line, and to deal some economic damage. Here we go. Here comes the 3rd and 4th Reaper. From here, we should then go into Marine production and transition out of this. Oh, never mind. never mind. As we are continuing with Reapers. Gabe, calm down, Pop. Let's go. So, did I say 4 Reaper? We're going up to 6 Reapers and 3 Hellions. Much more committed here by Gabe. And here we go. We're diving in. ByuN back at home is yet to confirm this, but he does have the high ground vision, has the high ground advantage. Hellion shot's going to be going off. We do manage to break through the defensive line. We're going for the Cyclone. The Cyclone will go down, but we bleed out so many Reapers, and ByuN, he holds. Barely does clean up all the Reapers. Did cost him the Cyclone. And HeRoMaRinE, he's got a handful of units left, but not enough to break through. I mean, I say that with these reinforcing Reapers, we don't have a Cyclone anymore. Could we get into a mineral line? It's going to be close, but nah, the Marines have come out in time. We have the medevac to support. Yeah, ByuN is held. Was a very tense moment. But from here, ByuN maintains his economic lead. He didn't lose a single SCV. 33 workers to the 29 of Gabe. And Gabe is not slowing down. Immediately reinforcing with a Cyclone, with Marines, sending the drop across the map. I mean, I don't blame him. Like, right now, there's a lot of pressure on Gabe to get damage done. Like, he needs some SCV kills. And he will catch the medevac. Gets a couple of hits in, making his way towards that natural. ByuN out of position. Cyclone rotating over. The boys are being pulled. And can we shut this down? Looks like with the help of the boys, we can. ByuN once again forces back Gabe. We do get 2 SCV kills. That's some damage. Now dropping into the main. Dropping into the main base. ByuN trying to keep up. Does rotate over, and we shouldn't get much more done here as the depot is getting low. Up! Can we get it? Ooh, we can. Just barely. Depot does fall. Gabe backs off, and back at home, we're calming things down. Third CC is on the way. We're working towards tank Raven. So Gabe is building up. Likewise, ByuN back at home, working his own tank Raven production with our own third CC on the way. Again, it was a very, very aggressive start from Gabe. The aggression has subsided, and ByuN still maintains a worker lead. We at least got some SCV kills, but again, Gabe was hoping for more. Gabe was hoping for more. We have the scan here just to confirm the production. Liberator Siege is up, but we are in position. We shut it down. The scan does confirm the Ravens, the tanks, the researching tech lab. The game will settle from here. We spoke earlier about how Alkyone does lead to longer games with a more defensive setup here on our bases back at home, and that's the direction we're headed in for now. That's the direction we're headed in as ByuN is moving out with his own drop towards the main base. Likewise, so is HeRoMaRinE. Have a Cyclone in the mix. Third base being taken. The main looking a little bit bare bones here for Gabe, so we could get some damage done. Likewise, ByuN is in position in his own main. Will we be able to respond? Ooh, we do unload, just barely out of vision. Stim is not quite done, but we do waddle into the mineral line. And SCVs are going down. We get one, we get 2. 2 SCVs so far, forcing back the mineral line. At the same time, Gabe also going for his own drop. Yeah, limited anti-air. ByuN will escape. Will get away. Oof, he's getting a bit ambitious. Going for the tank. Up! Yeah, but won't quite get it. Gabe has plenty here at the third. But we get 3 SCVs. And across the map, Gabe doesn't get much done. Tries to go for the mineral line. Is going to get some workers. But ByuN is here. Oof. The disable 1 second too late. Medevac gets shut down. Likewise, oh, HeRoMaRinE coming back over the Cyclone. Yeah, some rough pathing there. The drop is cleaned up. We do manage to get 2 workers. And as the dust settles, we're just settling into our 3-base setup. What do we have? HeRoMaRinE does have the tank lead. We have 6 tanks here versus the 4 of his opponents. HeRoMaRinE also has a Raven lead as well. So there is a lot of potential here with Big Gabe's army. There's going to be a lot of potential. ByuN, likewise, stabilizing back at home, building up his SCVs. Gabe did take a worker lead in the midst of all that chaos. Now we're settling down. 4th CC is on the way for HeRoMaRinE. And we should soon be seeing one for ByuN as well. Yo, we're entering a longer game. Let's go. It's happening. Yep, there it is. 4cc on location. A little bit more brazen here by ByuN. He has the confidence to take the space. Has a cyclone in position just in case so we can respond in time. And now we're just relying on drop play. It should be the case for both players as HeRoMaRinE is moving out towards the right-hand side. ByuN actually moving out with his main army. Uh-oh. And ByuN also has control of the Zonaga. So HeRoMaRinE does not see the move out. He does not know what's going on. Sensor tower just now starting, but by the time it finishes, ByuN might already be on top of him. Okay. We're calming down. I was like, yo, is he going to commit? The sensor tower will finish up in time. Double drop coming in is spotted. ByuN maintaining his position. And Gabe is headed for the mineral line. ByuN not too far away. Does respond in time. And he should be able to keep up with this. Yeah, forces back the drop. At the same time, ByuN posturing in the center of the map, scanning, hoping to catch any kind of move out. But now we have the sensor tower. And now we're taking the fort. We are taking the fort base. So in chat, the playoffs are today as well. Only the quarterfinals are today. The semis and the finals are tomorrow, but the quarterfinals are today. So technically, some of the playoffs are going to be taking place later on. Not all of them. As we see ByuN once again posturing. Drop being a nuisance, but ByuN does keep up. Scan reveals how exposed the space is, and ByuN is going for the fourth. It gets a disable. Threatens a dive, but HeRoMaRinE not too far away. Does respond in time. Again, it's all about positional play. ByuN testing the waters, looking for any kind of chink in the armor. Is sharking around, looking for an opportunity, and so far Gabe hasn't given him one. It's all about vision, map awareness. ByuN going for a Doom drop towards the main. His main army threatening the fourth once again. He does have disables. Gets two. Okay, two tanks are disabled. ByuN going to be committing. Does siege within range. And two tanks go down at the same time. Doom drop into the main. And the Marines, they are unloaded. Two medevacs went down, but we do get in. Trying to camp the production. SCVs are going down. And Gabe will eventually clean this up. But what does he lose? As ByuN keeps on pushing. Gabe late to siege. But is barely holding onto his fourth base. But he leaves out 15 SCVs back at the third. This was successful here by ByuN. May not have broken the fourth CC, but he did deal worker damage. And he's still pushing. He's still pushing in. Yeah, Sims on board. Where's the fire? Yeah, HeRoMaRinE, he's exposed. The tanks go down. The bio army now responding. But a little bit too late. As ByuN fortifies his position, Disable's going to be coming in. We try to break out, but there are so many Marines. Yeah, ByuN holds on. ByuN barely does hold on. Tanks, they break out of that disable. Volley's going up. And he still has not... Oh my god, the friendly fire! The friendly fire is brutal, but you can see ByuN is rallying. He's rallying everything across the map. He knows that he has broken the defenses of HeRoMaRinE. Has a broken his back. More volleys going up. And I say that Gabe still trying to muster up an army. The planetary getting very low. And again, how can we deal with these tanks? We can't. that's the problem right now. We just can't. ByuN going for a job at the same time. Again, there are just so many Marines here to help support this army. This tank line is not going to be broken. So much damage done. Gabe trying to go for a last hurrah, but isn't able to close the distance. Drop comes in. Get shut down. Is going to get a couple of workers. Yeah, and ByuN goes for the dice. He knows he's ahead. He has just too much of a lead. Too much of an advantage. Once again, cleans up all the tanks. And it's only a matter of time before this planetary goes down. Oh, I say that. Those are some big volleys. Oh my god. Marines are being cleaned up. Better positioning there for HeRoMaRinE. He will break out of this. Just barely, he will clean this up. But it costs him so much. ByuN, he's up 40 supply. Now rerouting his army, headed towards the third. Stimming up the ramp. Catching a couple of tanks. And I know that I said earlier that, you know, there are ways to bounce back from a supply deficit. That is true, but not when your opponent is this aggressive. As we sim right down the middle, GG gets called, and ByuN takes the lead. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN does take a lead. Again, it was a Hail Mary play where he went for the Doom Drop into the main as he was pushing towards the fourth. Did pull HeRoMaRinE apart. Did break through. And that position was just so brutal. Was just so brutal. And with that, ByuN, Unamas, one more game is all he needs to take it all, to advance on into the playoffs. One more is all he does need. And HeRoMaRinE is up against the wall. Is up against the wall. One more loss and that's going to be it. Or he can fight back. Force the ace match. I'm hoping he can. I'm hoping he will. I'm hoping we can go the distance. We're so close. And again, cheer for Big Gabe if you want that game 5. Regardless of how this goes, I would love to see that. But again, ByuN needs one more to win it all. We have our lobby, we have our players. They're ready, and we're loading into Golden Aura. Golden Aura is going to be game 4. Sorry if I was looking or sounding a little bit distracted. I was just making the lobby. Like, at the end of every game, I'm like, very quickly just making the lobby, setting the server, inviting the players. I don't want to take too long. But here we go. We're diving in. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our German Terran player. The Red Terran representing Team Mouse. Down in this series, he needs your energy, he needs your support in the chat to force the ace match. Can they bring it back? He's up against the wall. It is HeRoMaRinE. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player. The Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. One game away from winning it all and making it into those playoffs. It is ByuN. Here we go. Whew. Again, loading into Golden Aura. A very interesting map. Has a bit of a shorter rush distance, or is a little bit more... You do find yourself a little bit more vulnerable compared to Alkyone. The third base is quite secure as the ramp leading into it is very narrow, insanely narrow, so pushing up the ramp and into the third can be quite difficult. But the fourth base is more exposed, whether it's the fourth here on the low ground, which is wide open to the elements, or the fourth on the right-hand side, where if you knock down these rocks, again, you could see some more aggression here. I mean, it's been a pretty aggressive series so far. Even in that last game, even as ByuN and HeRoMaRinE were getting up to 4 bases on Alkyone, like, there was still very much so in each other's faces. I mean, I say that. It was ByuN. Like, ByuN was very much so in Gabe's face. Just not letting him breathe. It's hyper-aggression from our Blue Terran. As we're entering another economic opener, Rax Expand. Rax Expand here from ByuN, HeRoMaRinE going double gas. Double gas opener here, going for a faster factory instead. Just some slight variations here between our players. And winding it back, if you remember, Gabe didn't have the most amazing opener when he opened up Reaper Hellion. He committed quite hard with reactored Reaper Hellion going up to 6 Reapers and 3 Hellions. But wasn't quite worth it. Wasn't quite worth it for Gabe early on. I imagine we're not going to commit as hard as we did in the last game. I imagine we're going to be calming things down, at least a little bit. Un poquito, papi, un poquito. So now we do have our CC on the way for Gabe. Yeah, this time there is no reactor or no reactor first. It's going to be double Reaper into Cyclone. Okay, we're skipping the Hellions. Interesting. With this earlier Cyclone, this could be for a double Cyclone drop, which we have seen already in the series from Gabe. A lot of micro potential with those early game Hellions. Sorry, early game Cyclones. I think I said Hellion drop. Cyclone drop is what I meant to say. Like early double Cyclone drop. Has a lot of potential. As ByuN is opening up in a more standard fashion here. Getting to his Reaper Hellion, followed by the safety Cyclone of his own. Into a medevac, into a drop. Yeah, there's that second Cyclone, so it's going to be a double Cyclone drop from Gabe, and going to be a Marine, Cyclone, bit of everything move out for ByuN. See if the drops come across each other, if they react to each other, and who is able to get more damage done. So chaos is about to ensue. Just waiting for those medevacs. And then we're sending it back. Both players will be sending it. See the Marine Cyclone getting ready. Yeah, ByuN moves out, and so does Gabe. Both players do move out. Drops will pass by each other, and who is the first to react? Oh, it's going to be ByuN, who does unload, gets a lot of damage done. Oh, medevac barely doesn't go down, but takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage, and Gabe has to back off. He goes for the dive. Oh, ByuN leading out both of the medevacs. Bit of a more even trade here as the Cyclones, they bounce off each other. At the same time, Reapers coming in, force around. ByuN catching the Cyclone. Oh, ooh, just barely. ByuN, he shuts down the drop, catches both Cyclones, and pulls back. Whew, oh my god. Does pull back in the end. As both players back off, we're getting into our tank Raven production. ByuN does take a slight worker lead as he did have the faster command center, faster expand. And now the pressure is on Gabe. Again, bleeding out that drop was brutal, but now we sip in. And we're going for some SEVs. Do catch one worker in the main. And we do manage to get the hell out of here. Nice KDA charges. Whew. Does cover his exit. Does make it out. Nice moves there by Gabe. Behind this, third CC is on the way. A little bit faster than the third of ByuN, which again makes sense. Ideally, HeRoMaRinE wants to take a faster third to recover. Does want to take a faster third base. Again, tank's already getting in position as well. HeRoMaRinE securing himself. As once again, we're entering Bio Tank. So far in this series, no one has embraced mech. In the previous one, we did see attempted mech as well between some of our other Terran players. But not this time. No, between Gabe and ByuN, which I do appreciate. I mean, not opposed to mech in TvT, but do appreciate more dynamic style. Raven's sharking around. ByuN does confirm the positioning of Gabe. Third base almost done. Ooh, Reapers do dip in, and even though they go down, Gabe at least does confirm the timing of the third TC of ByuN. So he's aware that it's not a two-base all-in. He's aware that he has a faster third base. And the armies are moving out. Looking at our units tab here, HeRoMaRinE does have a Raven lead. It's going to be triple Raven here from Gabe. He gets a double Raven of ByuN. Tank counts are pretty comparable with each other. ByuN slipping in from behind. Going for the tanks. Order towers are thrown down. Ooh, and the tanks of Gabe, they are exposed. Ooh, one tank goes down. Ooh, trading tank for a tank. But ByuN is pushing through. Gabe out of position, having to go the long way around. And we're going for the third base. We're going for the CC. Again, Gabe bleeding out a Raven earlier. Tank goes down, but liberation zones have arrived. Yeah, and with these libs, Gabe will force back the army. Catching a tank in the retreat. Again, the Liberators, they came out just in time. Things looking a little bit scary there for Gabe. ByuN has to retreat. Once again, trying to catch out the tanks. Oh, he wants them. And he's going to get them. And catches one almost a second as well. Once again, Gabe caught out of position. Caught out in the open. And we're going for the third base. Does Gabe turn around? No, he doesn't. He keeps pushing. Tank is exposed. We're breaking into the third base. At the same time, same across the map. Our boys are being pulled. And ByuN, he collapses on the Liberators. First Liberator goes down. The tank as well. ByuN, he defends. And across the map, he's getting too much done. 6, 7 SCVs going down. We deny the third. ByuN back to mining. Again, things looking dire here for Gabe. Does race back with the Ravens at least, but he just doesn't have much to work with. Throws out the auto turrets, zones away the army. Gabe trying to dive in. Oof. Does try to go for the dive, but the momentum here from ByuN is just too much. The tanks have arrived. We have a massive tank lead here for ByuN. Boys are being pulled into tanks of all things. Get a bit of a desperation move here by Gabe. Throws out the auto turrets, lands the Vikings. He will barely clean up some of these tanks, but not everything. Not enough. 21 SCVs go down, and ByuN is snowballing out of control. Again, multiple times just catching Gabe in the center of the map. Picking away those tanks. Gabe trying to hold them, but Vikings have arrived. Oh, we're within range. The tank goes down. And there's just barely anything left. GG gets called, and ByuN will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the playoffs, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to ByuN, as he will take the series, will take the best of 5. My condolences to Gabe. I was hoping for a game 5. I was hoping for an ace match, regardless of how this would go. But yeah, that was just there were a couple of brutal moments there for Gabe as he was being caught out, bleeding out tanks in the center of the map multiple times actually, and yeah, ByuN just catching Gabe out of position, able to assert himself, move out across the map, catch Gabe. Just out of position far too many times. And congratulations to ByuN. My condolences to Gabe, as he has been eliminated from ESL Masters Spring. Has been eliminated. GG. I'm just reporting the score. GG, well played here. Congratulations to ByuN. He will advance on, and let's have a look here at the bracket. Let's try to catch up on what has been going on. Again, a shout out to HeRoMaRinE to make it this far. You know, he didn't have a bad performance whatsoever, whether it's in this series or whether it's in the entire tournament. HeRoMaRinE, he was able to take down Estrella 2-0. In the winners stage, he was able to take down Clem. Just think about that for a moment. Gabe 2-1 Clem yesterday. He was able to bring down one of the best Terran players in Europe, but still getting knocked out of the tournament. Like, again, this just was not a bad performance from Gabe. To bring down Clem is a very, very impressive feat. But, you know, Clem is just merely one player amongst a sea of talent here at ESL Masters Spring. There's just so many strong players with Maru, Hero, Oliveira. Oliveira's been popping off as well. Spirit, Rainer, Shin. So many strong contenders. And Gabe does bow out. But again, a solid run nonetheless. You know, to bring down Clem, like, that's no easy performance. No easy thing to do. And ByuN will make it through. Likewise, we have some other results coming in. Oh, I was looking forward to this series. Hero versus Clem also wrapping up. Clem has also been eliminated from the tournament. Hero taking the 3-0 and shutting Clem down. My condolences to Clem as well. Again, Hero is the best Protoss in the world, arguably. At least the best, inarguably the best offline Protoss player. As Hero does make it into playoffs. And we still have some more series going on. It looks like Shin versus Cure is mid-series, being casted by the B-Stream. B-Stream is covering that. And we have Spirit versus Estrella, which is currently going on as well, I believe on Steadfast's channel. I believe Steadfast is covering that series. And I believe Steadfast is going to be following Spirit versus Australia into the next round. I believe Steadfast will be following that series into Rainer. I think that's the agreement that we came upon. So I need to figure out what the plan is. It's possible. It's possible that we might cast Rainer versus either Spirit or Australia. It's possible that we might cast that as well, or we might just leave that to Steadfast. I'm uncertain as to what to do. Because I think technically we could just double up and just cast Rainer versus Rainer series. Or I could just co-stream the mainstream. I could do that as well. We have options. We have options. I've already finished up and wrapped up my first 4 series there. So we'll see. Meanwhile, do we have any quarterfinals matches getting ready? We do. Maru versus Hero. Oh my god. That is brutal. In the quarterfinals. Maru versus Hero is wild. That's a rematch. They face off so many times, by the way. Maru, the best Terran in Korea. Hero, the best Terran in Korea as well. They faced off in the finals of GSL. They faced off in the finals of Stars War 11. And now they face off here in the quarterfinals. It's going to be a wild series. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be sick. I'm pretty sure that's being covered by the mainstream. Pretty sure they're casting Maru versus Hero. I guess we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, I'll have an answer for you. I'll have an answer whether we're going to be casting Rainer series or whether we co-stream or whether we end the stream. We could just end it. Because I could just... It's 6 a.m., but I could just go to bed. Could happen. 6 a.m., but we'll see. But now we're going to be going on a short break, and we'll see you guys after the break. I'll keep you guys updated. Till then,